and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who has been taking performance-enhancing drugs for well over 2 years to prepare himself for this podcast. It's Chris Kelly.
Hello, everyone.
Well, you're like Charlie Sheen for this movie. Charlie Sheen was juicing.
Yeah, I read
to
about
pitch.
that.
Even though he really didn't have to.
Yeah, he was apparently a baseball player.
Yeah, he was, yeah. And then he also got, I was reading an article on Sports Illustrated, so he got offered big college scholarships. And then he went to a training camp to be sponsored, and then he realized he wasn't like one of the best pitchers around, so he decided to get into acting. But the dude really pitches in this movie, which is pretty amazing.
Apparently he could pitch like an 80 or 85 mile per hour ball, but they made it seem like it was like 100 or something.
Well, in the 80s, they would just move him closer.
Yeah, they put the mound about 10 feet closer. But I mean, that's still pretty impressive as far. I mean, I'm not really into baseball that much, but I think that's pretty impressive, by the way.
So I was watching him pitch, and it's just really refreshing watching a guy who can actually pitch in this movie. And I think that adds a lot to the authenticity of it. And did you know the guy, Ed Harris, the other pitcher? Played by, Chelsea Ross?
Yeah, good old Chelsea Ross, man. That guy was amazing actor.
So he was 45 in this movie, but he played in college. So he was actually a college ball. And I love that he just threw junk. And I love that he loaded himself up with Vaseline and snot.
He was like, he was the character that he was supposed to be, like, mimicking, or they were like, because each one of these characters was, like a reference to a real,
like a hybrid.
It was like a real baseball player, and it was Gaylord Perry was apparently the real baseball player who used to actually do that. And he had like the Vaseline on the arm, he had, like the baby powder over here. It's like, holy shit! Like,
he just threw junk.
He really like put it all over. He's like, well, that way the umpires can't see it. It's like, wow.
And if the umpire's on you, I put a chili pepper in my nose and I get a ton of snot. And I think my favorite line in this movie is the way. I love Charlie Sheen's line delivery because it's very dry. Remember in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like, what are you here for? Drugs. And just very dry. And I love how he goes, you put snot on the ball? Like, I didn't do that justice, but he's like, yeah, man, I can't throw in the 90s. Like, I throw junk. And I guess he could strike out Serrano.
Yeah, well, then his bat was also scared of the ball, so.
So, in the commentary, the character of what Chelsea's character, let me pull up his name again.
Chelsea Ross's character is Eddie Harris.
Eddie Harris. In the original script, he was much more religious, but everyone just got sick of it, so they really toned him down.
I mean, yeah.
So he has some bits, which, would probably happen in a locker room in the late 80s.
Well, yeah, there was also, the script was originally written in 1982, so he may have just had a reference to the times before that. But I did some reading, a little bit of reading on it. And apparently,
where'd you get 82?
That was on IMDb. Because he originally wrote it in 82.
I read art. He said he started writing it in 84.
Wow.
Fist fight!
What? Looks like the internet's wrong again.
IMDb? What? IMD? Yuck.
I got IMDF.
Where are these fact sheets coming from? I gotta reevaluate every podcast we've done.
I know. I read that on
when
IMDb.
You said that Strangers Pray at Night was directed by Orson Welles. I need to go
I'm going to have to fact check a little
Chris
bit on
Kelly!
The D.W. Griffith did not do election. You, sir, have been lying to me about saying Henry Ford.
Did Mighty Morphin Power Rangers actually win an Oscar?
Based on a true story. What in the hell?
I love those movies that are inspired by a true story.
So, they're great.
So, Chris, you and I are watching, you and I are sitting there and we see a duck flying. And then we're like, this movie inspires us to write a serial killer movie. And then we would have to say, inspired by a duck.
I was stuck in traffic, and that caused me to write One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, inspired by a true story. Like, what was it? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake was pitched as, I used to have the poster of that hanging in my wall as a kid, and it said, inspired by a true story. It's like, well.
Ed Gein.
Yeah. That's kind of a stretch, but yeah, Psycho was also inspired by. There was a lot of different movies inspired. Yeah, he was quite the character.
Wisconsin.
Was it Wisconsin? I can't remember.
Was he? Or Texas? Yeah. Well, according to your stats, he's from Honolulu.
He was from Idaho. He was a potato farmer that, when things dried up
I ran out of potatoes. I'm living in the Dust Bowl in the 30s. I need to eat people.
Don Knotts presents Ed Gein. What happened to my potatoes?
I'm going to start eating people.
I played that clip from The Simpsons when I was working on a movie. It was like whenever Don Knotts when they did oh shit.
That movie?
That was
oh shit. Isn't that
Who Shot Oh Shit? It was an Irish film.
Oh,
Who Shot Oh Shit?
Oh man.
The Simpsons, when they did Eddie Griffith, and they would do like there was like actors that were then swapped out for other actors. Remember they used to do this in the 70s.
Charlie Oh Shit.
Charlie Oh Shit strikes back in
Hitt.
Oh Shit in the Toilet Bowl Murderers. Sounds like a great murder punk band. Yeah. Whenever they would do like General Hospital, and then tonight's episode will be portrayed by whatever actor, but they Charles Bronson replaced Andy Griffith in the Andy Griffith show. Like Don Knotts comes walking in, I was like, oh, what happened to the town drunk? He's like, I shot him. He's like, now I'm headed to Emmett's Fix-It shop to fix Emmett.
Bronson.
Charles Bronson. Just putting Charles Bronson in any like family oriented show would just
murder everybody. The friends would be dead.
Imagine Charles Bronson in Seinfeld.
And she's all that. He plays Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character.
Like, why are you complaining all the time? You got all that. Bam.
What's the deal with gun holes? Or what's the deal with bullet wounds? They bleed so much. Like his opening stand-up. I shot a guy yesterday. Laugh.
How come no one's laughing? I don't get it.
People laugh at that. Pow, 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 pow.
Pulls out a 6-shooter, shoots off 7 rounds. How does he do it?
What's the deal? What's the deal with...
What is the deal with 6-shooters and their 12 rounds?
And lampshades. Did he actually ever say lampshades, Jerry Seinfeld?
I don't remember him saying that. I don't even remember him talking about airline peanuts, but that was always like the joke of like, he would always go, what is the deal with airline peanuts? They give you 4 nuts. And it's like, what? I don't remember that ever being said.
Is that a joke or an observation?
Or when he does in Seinfeld, he says Ovaltine. You shouldn't call it Ovaltine because the canister comes in as round, the cup is roundtine.
Wait, that's a real thing?
That was a joke that he wrote for the guy on in the show. He's like, that's gold, Jerry, gold. Like,
all right, so when did you first watch Major League? Because you pitched this to me.
I first saw this actually when it was on USA
3 weeks ago.
it was a brisk 2 weeks ago when I had a break from work, and
you were inspired.
I was originally saying Major League Baseball. We should watch that.
Just a game?
Yeah, I thought. Remember, I got those Braves tickets, and you're like, no, I'm going to be in Colorado. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Charlie O shit strikes again. I originally saw this. I think I was in 4th grade, and it was on USA, and I just I thought it was so funny, of course, because I was in 4th grade, and it was like when it was freshly on TV. I think at that point. Because it came out in 89. I was in 4th grade in 1994. So it would have been like 93, 94-ish time whenever I had seen this. But yeah, I remember seeing it and I thought it was so funny. I remember recording it and then showing it to other 4th graders and 5th graders being like, this movie's so funny.
It's a perfect 4th, 5th grade movie.
And then I saw it uncut and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a completely different movie.
Totally. Because you know what's interesting?
There's a lot of swearing that they took out for the TV version.
The studio was kind of annoyed at the director, David Ward, for having so much profanity. But he kind of said when people talk about baseball in the locker room, when people talk, he's like, I didn't plan on there being that much profanity, but there is. And I think that's why it's done so well. There's certain moments I feel authentic. I was reading an article about The Ringer, and they did bring up a weird thing. Watching it again, that's The Ringer, the website.
Oh,
they wrote about it being like the perfect baseball movie, because Cleveland for a while, the Cavaliers won. Stipe Miocic won the heavyweight title. He was from Ohio, Cleveland. So, but they were saying, they did right though. It's weird that Tom Berenger keeps breaking into homes and everyone thinks it's normal.
When I watched
That's creepy.
When I watched it again, I showed it to my girlfriend and she was like, he just shows up.
It's weird.
And she's like, he's just showing up to people's houses. And it's like, especially the scene where he's going to visit, oh gosh.
He just follows her home.
It's really weird. And he walks into her, the woman that he's in love with.
Rene Russo.
Yeah. Rene Russo's character, Lynn Wells, and he goes to her boyfriend's place, and it's obviously like a very like upper class area because he has an elevator that goes to his apartment. And it's like the elevator opens up and out he comes, and it's like, wait, what?
And everyone's totally fine with it. I'd scream,
what are you doing in my house?
And then he creeps into her house later. It's like, is this your house? It's like,
like, I never caught that, I guess.
Well, you're a kid. You when you're think about it, yeah.
Exactly.
But you watch it now, and then in this movie, the whole time, she's like, you cheated on me with the stewardess. He's like, well, she said she had a better body than you.
I had to defend your honor.
And then she's
that's
like,
bullshit. I had a way better body than she did. And he's like...
And then they go, and then there's another part where she's like, we had a surprise party for you, and someone showed up with a paternity suit. He's like, that was a hoax. I didn't get her pregnant. He's like, but you slept with her. And he's like, well, yeah. So
there's not a whole lot.
He was terrible to her.
He's not, even if you wanted to like paint him as being kind of like a macho man, that's not very like tough or macho-y. That's very jerky.
One thing I do like though is they kind of, the life on the road. Like Dorn later on has an affair. Like they don't sugarcoat any of that stuff with baseball. And I'm sure that's happened.
No,
like in the major leagues, like, in basketball and baseball, you hear all the time about someone's spouse, like, texting another teammate's player and all that kind of stuff. So I guess it's good that they don't, but it's just kind of weird. I like the Tom Berenger dealing with the team. I liked him getting the fried chicken. I liked him talking smack, using, like, his veteran savvy. I liked him a lot in that. But it was weird seeing him just break into people's houses and have that be charming. And then he totally writes her off. She builds this amazing, like, library. Like, that library's booming, dude.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous thing that she did. And he's just kind of like, oh, you're still into books. And then he reads the comic book version of Moby Dick. It's like, he's very, like, backhandedly being nice or, I guess, somewhat polite. But it's like, I didn't really like it. It's like, why would you be my mentor?
Yeah. He's a good ball player.
Dynamite ball
player. So
not
probably not life coach, but more like... He does give good advice when he says don't cheer because other people are losing it. So he gives good ball playing advice. Remember he said you got 100... Like, so maybe you listen to him on that, but everything in his life is just a mess. But I think that's pretty interesting because, I mean, if you're not put together originally and then you travel to 162 games and then your knees go bad, I guess you're going to become kind of...
You're going to be kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, listen up, kid.
But so I was reading on the DVD, they have a behind the scenes video where baseball players talk about the movie. And some big names love it. They talk about all the, like the junk ball, the pitching, the guys who are fast but they want to hit. Like that's all. That David Ward, you probably read this, the director, he loved Indians baseball.
Yeah.
And he had won an Oscar for writing... He won an Oscar for writing The Sting. He won it at 29, dude. 29 years old, he won an Oscar.
That's some serious bragging rights. Yeah. My God.
And then this movie only cost $11 million. So, it made $100 million, which I checked up in, accounting for inflation, that's about $200 million in the States. Yeah. So that movie comes out right now, it would make $200 million. That's insane.
That's a lot of money.
And then it only had an $11 million budget, which we could translate to maybe, $22 million. That's a nothing budget right there. That's like the snot coverage for an Avengers movie. It's like the tissue coverage for everyone's...
Spend more money on boxed water.
Yeah. Hey, it's the best. I tried boxed water.
It tastes like water to me.
Yeah.
I don't get
water
it.
From a box.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it costs $2. And like, what?
The best... Don't they call it the best water on the planet?
Yeah, it's like real water comes from a box or something like that. And you're like, what?
I thought it came from the earth. Wait
a minute.
Wait.
You mean to tell me the internet lied to me again?
Chris Kelly, you're wrong. So wait, it comes from what, rain, evaporation, like the earth, springs.
Yeah, like I'm going on a trip this weekend, and we're in
a box.
In a box, it's
a box car.
Budget cuts hit everybody, Mark.
Yeah, we're going on a train box car.
We cut a hole in a box, and they're just going to go. We're driving.
You're just walking.
Can't even afford to walk anymore.
Like that DP.
Well, we going up to Springer Mountain, and they have natural springs up there, so we just collect the water.
It comes from boxes.
Yeah, it's really really not cost efficient at all, but help. I mean, when you're hydrated, you're hydrated.
Listen, how do you transport boxed water? Because we have our own. I have my own bottle of water. I have my very pretentious one with all my stickers on it. But I could never just travel with a box of water. That'd be terrifying. It would just break everywhere.
Man, that's bullshit. I saw your Instagram. You had like 3 boxed waters.
Juggling them.
Or jumping over a slightly bigger box onto a smaller box.
I have a jump rope made entirely of boxed waters. I was double dutching. They were exploding everywhere. I was hydrated.
Best $70 I ever spent.
Well, plus I had to rig them together, and I had to pay 2 people. That cost me about $400.
Some kid started crying and said, "Hey, put that in a box."
Yeah, save that to you. Here's a mini milk carton. Crying to this, I'll drink it.
Oh, God.
Save your milk carton so when you cry.
That's the real reason why your coffee's so delicious. It comes from a box.
I brew it in a box.
Now I'm going to have to pay attention next time.
So what I do is I take a bunch of coffee grounds. I buy some boxes from Home Depot, right? And I just tape the crap out of them. And I just dump a whole thing in. Then I dump a whole bunch of water in. And I stir it with an oar.
Made out of other boxes.
A wooden oar. Come on. I lose about 90% of it because a lot of it soaks in. A lot of it goes on the floor, which is really bad for my wooden floor.
For your box
floor. I mean, I can replace it. It's just I have to buy more boxes. So, I make this coffee. And I mean, what's left? A lot of beans. Tastes like mud. With dirt inside of it.
But the boxes.
But it will wake you up. Because it's coffee. I mean, that's the point, right?
Of course.
I mean, what do we live in? If
you're not going to be mainlining coffee and you're just going to drink it, I mean,
what do you better put it in a pot?
Yeah. Slap somebody for that.
In a pod? Is it a boxed pod? I would do Keurig if they came in boxed pods. Not plastic, just cardboard pods.
They come in those weird, like, plastic ones, or the ones I've seen now are like, it looks like a mini coffee ground. You're like, oh, come on, man.
We do Nespresso, and they send you a bag, and you put all your Nespresso pods, and you can, you send them back to Nespresso, and they recycle them all.
Wow.
Yep, so that's what we do. We're very pretentious. So that stuff, you've contributed.
Get that arrogance off.
You've contributed to a lot of recycling, Chris Kelly. You've done the world a service.
Yeah, I feel good about that. I think I'm going to go run over an animal now.
Oh, goodness.
Just so I can balance it out.
Oh, goodness. Jeez, you
got to do the good with the bad, or it's all going to go
a wild thing.
Speaking of wild
things. We're getting back to this.
Did you know that Charlie Sheen was 24 when he made this movie?
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
And I heard that he was flying in women, and he had to coordinate from when they were going to be here and when others were going to leave.
Yeah, so he's pulling a Sylvester Stallone, huh?
You know they shot this movie 6 weeks of nights.
Good God!
Because he could only shoot for 5 weeks because he was so big at the time. But this movie, 6 weeks of night shoots.
Good God, no, that would have been horrible.
Because all the night baseball games, and also it was filmed during the summer, and they shot it in Milwaukee. So then they couldn't film it in Cleveland because they had tax incentives, so they saved $1 million. They shot all the exteriors in Cleveland, which everyone does that. Shoot exteriors in San Francisco.
Exactly. You go there for like a week, and then you just shoot all the exteriors, and then
shoot the exteriors in Tokyo, and they film it here.
Yeah,
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia has been what was it?
We were Lagos.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember which one it was, but I was like, yeah. And then it was also New York City, Washington D.C.,
$1 Million Arm. We were California. Georgia Tech was California.
They also did the same thing with the internship.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The whole Google. Georgia Tech was actually Google headquarters.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
I've done a lot of traveling just by staying here.
I've seen the whole world just from about an hour's drive.
Technically, I've been to Lagos.
Well, I've been to Titan.
Whoa.
What up?
Wait, so have I.
No, you weren't there yet because they didn't go to Titan.
Oh, great. I was in Ego's.
You're an Ego ship.
I was on Ego.
Yeah, damn right you were.
That was a great trip.
Tried to take my
That was a great Ego trip. Oh, man. So he was 24 in this movie. Also, the one thing I love most about this film is they were talking about all the extras that they had in it.
That's insane. Yeah,
27,000 extras.
At one time, or was that over the whole thing?
They had them for I think 3 days.
Jeez.
And they had the most. So you know how these works. They had 27,000 the first night, and then they had like almighty. They weren't feeding them. They had to buy the hot dogs there, and then the next night they had like 20,000, and then they got all the way down to like 200.
Oh,
and so what they would have to do is they would have to shift the 200 all around the ballpark. Just the same 200 showed up every night, and they got paid as like extras, but they would get shifted around the stadium. So they would just do. So if you watch, you see the massive crowd scene, 27,000. That's nuts.
That's insane.
And then it would just be shots of the same 200 people over and over. And like, if you like zoomed out just a little bit, like it would be empty stands. But it doesn't play like that. I mean, when they bring in those 27,000, and these extras love like the Dancing the Wild thing. That was like a big. I remember watching it, feeling how epic that was.
I thought that was an actual game. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
that's what I assumed, because when I was showing this to my girlfriend, she was like, because now she's starting to understand what I do for work, and she was like, would all those people be extras? And I was like, well, actually, this is what I thought before I read anything about this, was that they went to a real game and then they just shot, quick scenes, and then they played the real game. I was like, there's no way they got that many extras. And then I read they actually did.
God,
I was like,
27,000.
I only read 2,000 for one scene, but
27,000 one night. And then they all just went, screw this, because being an extra is terrible.
Of course.
And a lot of the ball players on this team were different players, because there's so many backgrounds. So let's say you and I get cast. We're part of the Indians, but we're getting paid extra pay, and then we have to shoot 6 weeks, but we always have to be there, and we're never on camera, because they wanted to have the same team, but people just wouldn't show up. So then they'd have to bring in, so the team, every time you see the team, it's different like people.
Yeah, I can imagine that would happen.
I know this is, I don't care, we're jumping all over the place. If you've seen Major League, you're listening to this. Okay, I love the American Express commercial.
And don't steal home without it.
Yeah, I was laughing so hard. And I love Charlie Sheen's line delivery. Like, what are you going around or not? And I also love that Dorn. He's like the super. You need an investor. Like super boisterous, but when he gets on camera, he's just terrible.
Yeah, right. That's such a good. I love how they do that. I love when they do that in movies, because it's like showing like realism. Mm-hmm. Because you're like, oh, I guess I must be watching a real. It feels like you're watching a real person as opposed to an actor.
Yeah.
So it's like with Dorn, it's like, yeah, he's very like affluent and very. You say flamboyant, kind of like very, really nice guy. And then when he gets on camera, he's like,
I love that beat.
That's great.
I love that beat.
Good old Lou Brown, James Gammon.
He is
every
awesome.
Time. I love, excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, every time he comes on, he's like, like, I love how, what was it?
I'm just too old to hide behind the locker, so I'm going to sit here if that's fine with you.
I was reading, what was interesting about him was he started out as a cameraman back in the 60s, and then they needed to have like as they put it, whiskey-soaked voice for a Western. So they brought him in, they had him just have a line in a movie, and then they loved him so much they cast him in a lot of 60s and 70s Westerns as like the old, I guess he wouldn't be old at that point, but even like middle-aged gunslinger who's like heavy drinking, heavy smoking, and
you may run like Maze, but you hit like shit.
I remember in the TV version they used to say you hit like his sister. I was like, that's a better line. I think that's way.
And I loved
remember Roger Dorn, he says he's like, I don't have to do any calisthenics that I find not necessary. What do you say about that? He has his contract. He takes his contract, puts it down, unzips his pants, just pees right on his thing.
They talked about the storyboard sequence of that. They're like, should we show the stream? That was like a whole conversation. They had a big deal about, should we show the pee?
No.
Yeah.
I know. What do you think if they would have showed the stream?
Nah, it was just funny the way it is. Yeah.
Would it be as good as like with an election where you can actually see him peeing on the tree?
No.
It just wasn't. I don't think so.
And I love Charlie Sheen was telling a story about how much he loved Lou. And he said Lou showed up one day to work so hungover, like he just carried the bar with him. That's how bad he smelled. He was like, I've never seen someone have a harder time making coffee. I guess Lou was just like, ugh. And then he just did his part. Like he sat down and said, team, we gotta win today. And then, I'm out of here.
You mean the real James? The real guy?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
He just couldn't. We've had those mornings.
Well, yeah, of course. I just think that's so funny because that's almost like how his real person is. He is almost identical to his character.
Yeah.
And he carried that with him through his entire career. He died, sadly in 2010 of cancer, but he was like that up until the very end. Because I remember a movie that he did with Eduardo Sanchez, the guys, one of the two that did
Blair Witch guys. Yeah,
they did a movie about an alien invasion, which is actually not that bad. I forget what it's called.
It's not that bad. Hey,
whoa!
Oh, what podcast was that? You should listen to our "It's Not That Bad" podcast.
It's actually not that bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. But he did a movie where he did it with those guys towards the end of his career, and he was very much just like the coach in this. He plays an old sheriff, I think. He gets shot. And he's like, Would you mind getting me one of them beers? And it's just like...
plug it up. Get me one of them boxes of beer.
When I used to work at a truck dealership back in Pennsylvania, back in the day, over a decade ago, me and another guy that worked there, we used to do Lou voices over the phone. So whenever I was the front desk receptionist, so I would send him calls that he would get in. I'd be like, hey, Eric, you got a call line too. And he used to do it all the time. He'd do like, how Lou would be like, Herp!
Yeah.
And then he would do like, that's pretty much.
I love him in this movie.
He's perfect for this.
He has one of my... So, I Major League 2, I don't remember much about it. I just remember back in the day, we were on a trip, my brother, mom, and I, and our car broke down. And so we had to get it repaired. So we got a hotel room. And on HBO was Major League 2. And I remember just loving it. Because I love Dorn having to get hit by a pitch. But I love at the end, Lou has a heart attack.
Oh, no.
And remember that? Have you seen
It's been probably since... I think it came out in like 95.
So, Lou has a heart attack, and he has this radio system into his ear, but the nurses can't know it because his heart rate can't get up. So he has this like British show on, and at the end when the Indians win, he's up cheering, going yeah, jumping on his bed, and then they're like, "You gotta calm down. What's the deal?" And he's like, "I love this British shit." Like, I love this British shit. Like, so he's cheering at the British shows. So I thought that was pretty funny, but I don't want to watch the movie again.
I don't think I haven't seen that since it came out. I never saw Major League 3. What was it, Back to the Minors?
No.
Is that what it was called?
I remember, like, Dennis Haysbert's character, Serrano, becomes a Buddhist. They bring in a Japanese player. I mean, Japanese are huge at baseball. Yeah. Ichiro and all that, but this guy's like, you have no marbles, and he's just showing marbles, hating on Serrano. And,
oh, God.
Omar Epps takes over for Wesley Snipes, and then Charlie Sheen becomes, like, too into the fame, but an old flame brings him back to his old Wild Thing days. And they brought in Randy Quaid as opposed to I love these guys in this movie. The cheering section for them, I love them. It's too high. Like, what do you mean it's too high?
In the movie.
Yeah,
I use that line a lot. Where like, no way, it can't be a home run. It's too high. It's too high. Then it goes over. He's like, it's too high.
Well, when he hit it, it was just so high. But I get it. Sometimes you can really hit pop flies high up. But I just
They have their lone 3 fans, and then they get an entire stadium.
I love that. But the casting, though, they did like a 2-week boot camp for them to get ready. And the interesting thing is Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen were together in Platoon. And they're like, they're not funny. Because Charlie Sheen hadn't done too many comedies yet. He had shown up, he did a funny bit in Ferris Bueller, but he wasn't Hot Shots.
Oh, yeah. And he still wasn't really funny in that. He was
super dry.
Well, he was the straight man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his... It's the same thing as Leslie Nielsen. He's actually not funny if you think about it. He's not really doing any jokes.
I beg to differ. Is this one of your IMDb facts?
No.
Right, so
watch Airplane and tell me that he's not telling one joke throughout the whole thing.
Surely you can't be serious.
Yes, I am. Don't call me Shirley.
But I think they cast this really well. Dennis Haysbert, he had played baseball. He really cracked a 315-foot home run.
Damn.
So when that scene where he hit it, he actually jacked that out the park. I think Wesley Snipes is hilarious in this. When he finds out he got on the team, he goes out and starts dancing. Yes. And but what I liked most is about like the kind of camaraderie. So I really like the scene where it's Charlie Sheen, Berenger, and Snipes at dinner.
I love that scene, yeah.
And he's like, who is that guy? And Wesley Snipes, well, he doesn't have a name tag. And then Charlie Sheen's like, you want me to drag him out of here? Kick the shit out of him? Like, they become...
Yeah, they become like, like brothers.
Yeah, and then even
takes a sip of wine and then it's like he's gargling with it.
Yeah. And like Eddie, he didn't even get invited. Remember they took his bed, Willie Mays Hayes?
Yeah, my favorite line. And whenever I saw you today and you opened up the door, it's the first thing I said. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. I got cut already. I love that line.
And then, you want to know something very interesting? In the commentary, they said he's an amazing dancer, athlete, but he can't run.
Yeah, I read about that. So he couldn't throw the baseball either.
Yeah, but he could catch.
They said I read that on IMDb. So
But I mean, having baseball throwing motion of it, like, so that's what gets me about tennis movies. So I played tennis for years, and then you watch these tennis movies where they're supposed to be the best ever, and they're terrible at it. It really throws you out of there. So they purposely tried to not have him throw on screen.
And every time he's running, it's in slow motion.
Yeah,
except for the one shot, but it's not him.
And he can catch.
Yeah.
So, but that's fun. Those 2 guys that he overran were faster than he was. So that's crazy. Like, that's really. They said Dennis Haysbert was faster then Serrano was faster than Willie Mays.
Oh wow! Well, that wouldn't have worked out very well.
I think that's funny though, right? Like,
yeah. It's because I mean that just shows like the cinematographer.
They said in the credits that the two guys who got overran by Willie Mays just were like running slow. I think that's pretty funny. Like that's something you don't really pick up with. Yeah, but I dug that.
Like whenever they're shooting it, they're probably just like, "Oh, this is going to look ridiculous," and it's like, "Aha!" So you, sir, don't know what smoke and mirrors is.
You know, the producer Joe Roth did Young Guns, Bachelor Party, Nightbreed, Three Musketeers. He worked with Charlie Sheen a lot. While You Were Sleeping, Oz the Great and the Powerful, $1 Million Arm, Maleficent, Huntsman, and Triple X 2. I thought that was pretty interesting. So
I read he did Triple X 3.
Oh yeah, Triple X 3.
And then he also did Alice in Wonderland.
Big budget. These are two.
And the movie that I personally like, but you, sir, were not too thrilled about, Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh gosh,
I love that movie. It's so ridiculously stupid.
It's all based on opinion in their movie, so it's not important. I just derive no joy from it.
He did one of the first movies that Joe Roth did was The Fabulous Stains, which was a movie that I saw as a child, and I was like, oh my god, it's a punk rock film.
Oh, nice.
There was a bunch of punk rock movies that came out in the early '80s because that's whenever the saying was punk rock is dead. There's no more punk anymore. So then all these movies started coming out and saying punk's alive. And it's like, well, that's the direct opposite of punk. Yeah. So yes, you're proving our point. It is dead. So,
have you ever heard my band, the Brewskis?
The ones that you did a lot of Foghat covers.
No, we just did original horrible songs. We weren't punk. I just want to bring that up.
But it's so non-punk that
but
it is
some
punk.
guy said that we were anti-music. Is that punk?
That would be punk, yeah.
Hey.
You're so like against traditional music that you do untraditional music, so that it makes it punk.
Oh, I like that. Hey.
Sounds like the Brewskis are going to have a revival.
You can't listen to them anywhere, but
now on Spotify.
Oh yeah. But no, this movie though, and also what I loved about '89 and then during the '90s, there were some really good baseball movies. Like
there was a lot of them that came out. I mean, I think the first big surge of baseball films was in the '40s because of Lou Gehrig. Mm-hmm. But then they went away, and then the '80s we had a bunch of them that came out. And you had Field of Dreams. Yep. You had The Natural, which was one of my personal favorite films.
Good movie.
It's a great movie.
A League of Their Own was '90s. Oh, Bad News Bears was '70s. That was awesome.
But the Bad News Bears go to Japan. That was the '80s.
0% on that.
God, that movie is terrible.
And then the 90s was all about kids' baseball movies. Sandlot. Angels in the Outfield. Rookie of Their Own. I love Rookie of Their Own.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of Their Own? Oh, League of Their Own. Jeez Louise.
Who's the IMDb flub now? Hoffmeyer.
Hey, that was a mental gaffe.
You can't lie to me.
Wait, that's...
You water box drinking son of a gun.
I hate Metacritic. You know what's the worst moment of my life? I bought a case of beer. It's all surrounded in a box. I open it up and there's glass in it.
Went to the recycler. They hailed me as a hero.
I said, you can drink the beers too, because I thought they were in boxes.
But one of the other producers on this, speaking of 90s movies that we had a big flourish of, in the 80s and 90s, there was a bunch of movies that came out where it's like you found Joe Schmo or Joe Slob, however you want to look at him. And then turns out that they were the distant relative of like... I'm a king.
Like King Ralph.
She produced it. Julie Sandauer.
Oh, nice.
She produced King Ralph right after this. Major League was her first movie.
And David Ward directed King Ralph, the director of Major League.
See, there you go.
Yeah, he also did The Program.
Ooh, that's a
football movie.
Remember that movie was they cut out that scene in The Program that was in the trailer, which they were playing chicken on the highway where they're all lying down. And cars were like running over them, but they weren't like obviously that would never be able to happen in real life. But that was like in the movie.
Should be cut.
Yeah, they cut it, but they weren't actually getting run over. They were just sitting there. They were playing chicken to whoever would get up first was like the scaredy cat. And then it's like, well, in real life, the car would run right over you. It wouldn't, go over top of you. But that's what they were showing in the movie, that the cars were actually going over top of them. And I remember the one scene, the guy was reading a newspaper as this was happening. Saying like, oh, we do this shit all the time. And it's like, well, y'all would be killed.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah. But then they cut that out of the movie because kids were actually doing that.
Hey, he also directed Down Periscope.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Great cast.
Yeah, well, that has Frasier in it.
Yeah. No, that has Kelsey Grammer.
Right. Yeah, the main character.
Frasier.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Brendan Fraser. One of your IMDb guys. And he also he wrote Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, that was his last big movie. He hasn't really been doing anything lately. I guess he's probably just taking it easy.
He's a good director.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you belted out some really big, memorable films, you're like,
You won an Oscar at 29.
Good. Yeah, I'd probably pat myself on the back for that one too. Well, he's like, what, 70 something?
I'd still be patting myself on the back.
Your daughter brings home a guy and is like, "Hey, Dad, this is my boyfriend." I'm like, I won an Oscar when I was.
How old are you? 36. Do you have an Oscar? Dump him. Dump him. And get me a box of water. Bring those bottles to my home, Junior. I miss Ted. He used to bring water bottles over, but Ted's in jail. Get him out.
He won a Grammy at 23.
But it was for reading an audiobook. Great voice.
I didn't hear any complaints.
He produced that album. You know how hard it is to mix. Did you hear the sound effects in that audiobook?
He did the Jungle Book. He did every character different.
When he did Baloo, I cried. Who is this guy?
I wanted to be just like you.
He didn't say a word wrong.
David Ward, I'm telling you, who knew? One interesting note was Irby Smith, who was one of the producers on this, was an AD back in the 70s. Did a classic movie such as The Naked Ape and the TV show of Get Christy Love and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Hey. AD on that?
Yeah, can you imagine that? I mean, that doesn't seem like that would be that crazy of a film to AD because it all takes place there.
Yeah, but
except for certain scenes.
Like Milos Forman and then Jack Nicholson and the egos on that and the tension. You probably had to keep like a real quiet set.
Yeah.
Like,
just especially since, that? I mean, Danny, yeah, I take back, why walk back my statement now? Danny DeVito, I think that was like one of his first films, and he was like fully into it. Like he wanted people to believe that he was actually mentally insane.
So you had to deal with that on set.
God, tiny little man.
That makes no sense.
ADNO.
There it is. Yes. They didn't want him to make this movie, David Ward, because they're like, people can watch baseball on TV all the time. Why are they going to watch it in the movie theater?
What? Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Well, yeah.
So they wanted to reteam. It was their idea to reteam Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen
to do like platoon, but in baseball.
Yeah,
that would have been a wild movie.
Bring Oliver Stone in.
Yeah. One guy when he catches a fly ball, he does the.
He gets hit with the No, wait.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
Like those. They shoot the balls.
Oh God!
No. The things that like
the scene with Willem Dafoe with
cages,
the ball,
like in a batting cage, and they just start whapping in the back.
Oh my God!
And it goes on longer than the Tropic Thunder one. Jeez Louise! And then also, I don't know, man. I think they were having Charlie Sheen throw 125 pitches a day.
God, that would blow your arm out.
Yeah, he's like. When he says arm was jello, it probably was.
I'm sure, yeah. He was probably like, I don't want to do this movie anymore. I'm going to live off my dad's money for a minute. I'm going to go do Wall Street.
Yeah.
Which would have been right around the time.
Yeah. So people didn't know him much for that, so it's kind of crazy. But
he wasn't really a well-known actor at that point. He was mainly known for his brother, Emilio, and...
he had done Wall Street and Platoon, but he was like a young buck building up his stuff.
Yeah, he would have been like the hot item of the moment.
And he was in Red Dawn?
Was he in Red Dawn? Well, I would say check IMDb, but
that's lies. I have a Patrick Swayze 3-pack around here. We'll try.
Only a 3-pack? Wow, you poser.
Yeah, I bought it for Youngblood, the podcast we did. We did a podcast about the movie Youngblood. It's a hockey film. And you can't rent it or stream it anywhere. You have to buy it.
I'll tell you, man.
That's very MFF. That's pretty.
That. That's definitely punk rock.
I mean. Yeah. How about this? I'm going to take a break. We don't even re-record right now. We're going to go punk rock it somewhere, which isn't punk rock if you're still going to do that.
I'm going to go punk rock at Publix.
We get a sub. When we get back, we'll talk more Major League. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I just searched the lying website known as IMDb, just joking. And he had done Young Guns and 8 Men Out before this. 8 Men Out. I saw like a robot.
He portrayed
a baseball player, Chicago.
He portrayed a real person.
Yeah. And then, so we're doing Young Guns next.
Yes. I made the suggestion to do Young Guns. after this one because I love that movie.
I'm down for anything. I don't care.
That's such a great movie. I don't remember Young Guns 2 that well, but Young Guns was definitely great.
I don't even need to be topical. I just like covering movies. Young Gun on a Bed of Roses. Is that the song? No, and Unwanted, Dead or Alive. Bed of Roses is a movie he starred. No, that was a Christian Slater movie. With Penelope, with Penelope and Miller.
Was that War of the Roses?
No, Bed of Roses.
Or was that Michael Keaton that did War of the Roses?
Wait, War of the Roses?
That was a movie.
Yeah, I think, wasn't that Meryl Streep?
I thought that was Michael Keaton, too.
Bed of Roses is Christian Slater. And then War of the Roses, War of the Worlds.
What?
Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
I knew there was a Michael in there.
Yeah, your facts.
I'm good. I'm telling you.
But no, all right, so we haven't talked about something big. And that is, would you say the MVP of this movie? And that's Bob Uecker?
Yes, I would definitely say that.
Just a bit outside.
You can't say goddamn on the radio.
No one's listening.
Nobody's listening.
I love the lines. He says,
listen to the roar of the crowd. He takes his microphone and shoves it outside and nothing. He's like, yeah. And then like, I love how like later on they're like, the two guys in the press box, they pretend that they're the crowd. They're like, whoa, 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 clapping. And
that was fun.
Oh yeah. I love Bob Uecker when he takes the whiskey and uses it like it's cologne, puts a little bit in his hand. But yeah, he was a real baseball player. He was a catcher for the Braves, the Cardinals, and the Phillies from 1962 to 1967.
Wow.
And then after that, he was more famous for being an announcer for nearly 30 years. And then he did beer commercials. And director David Ward did not know that he was an announcer, even though he was pretty famous for being an announcer, Bob Uecker. And he knew him for his Miller Lite. He knew him for his Miller Lite beer.
Jumped ahead of you and stole your thunder.
No, son of
I'm the Thor of stealing thunder.
I'm going to call up the Brewskis and say that the reunion is off.
That's a good thing.
See,
those shows cost years of my life.
Better take another drink of that boxed water, Hoffmeyer.
So I also love the line in this where I will take another sip of box water. It's delicious. But I love when he said the Indians lost a heartbreaker tonight, 9-0.
They're threatening to crawl out of the grave.
They just set the camera on him and let him go, which I love.
Well, he's a comedian as well.
Oh, was he?
He was a comedian as well as as an announcer. So he had all this for years underneath his belt. So
they kind of have to be storytellers. So I used to listen to the Tampa Bay Rays games a lot. I used to go swimming, and then I put the game on and just get my exercise in there to like when I had like when my knee hurt. Mm-hmm. Swimming's like real good, so I would listen to the games. And the announcers, you love them. You begin to really become buddies with your radio announcers for these shows. And so I bet at the park, but he definitely would tell stories. Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to in order to keep everybody interested in what you're listening to. It's just kind of like if they were just going, okay, and the pitch. Strike two. Can you imagine if James Gammon was the announcer? Like, whiskey.
So third strike of the day.
Catcher is terrible.
He can't even crouch. He's standing straight up.
Just a bit outside.
This is the first time I've ever seen a catcher standing up.
Who does he think he is? A cinematographer?
So for this backstory of the cinematographer, so on our other podcast, we've been building up the cinematographer, and I had an idea, like, people talk about how would I get in the industry. I say, I don't know. My uncle was a studio exec, got me my first job at 7.
My great grandfather did lighting for silent films.
I got nominated for an Oscar when I was 8 years old for that John Wayne picture, Comanche Firefighter, and I didn't even I couldn't walk. Because I didn't know what I was doing, and I never moved after that. Comanche Firefighter. Great picture.
I love those movies from the 60s and 70s. They all had the same, like, similar names.
Yep. I just love listening to...
Stagecoach blows up again. Like, what?
Stagecoach Commando. Wait, that sounds pretty good, actually.
Beach Party Bingo.
Ooh, that's a good one. They all filmed at that same section of beach, too. You know, all the who's the
they must have this cliff everywhere on the planet.
You know what I'm talking about,
all the parties are there.
Yeah. But no, man, I mean, this movie, I totally lost my train of thought because I just want to keep talking about the cinematographer. But I love the bit, the California Penal. Like, where'd you play, California Penal?
Never heard of him.
How'd you get there? I stole a car.
Yeah. And Bob Uecker to bring him back to the MVP of the movie when he said, and there's Ricky Vaughn, who is a juvenile delinquent in the offseason.
Oh, I love that so much. And I love when he calls up Lou. Lou's just selling tires. Like, I got some guys with white walls.
Like, let me put you on hold. I got some guys about some white walls on the other line.
And Berenger's just laying in a bed in Mexico, just in a depraved lifestyle.
This is a joke. I'm hungover.
And Wesley Snipes, William A. Hayes, drives up a bug with a Rolls Royce.
That was apparently a thing.
Yeah, that was a thing.
I didn't know this. I thought that it was only like I thought they did it as a joke in Cheech and Chong in this movie, but apparently this was a thing where they had Rolls Royces in front of VW Bugs for a while. They actually sold these. It was like supposed to be like the classy version of the VW Bug.
Yeah, and then I think Rolls Royce was like, "Wait a second, we can't do this anymore.
This looks ridiculous." But yeah, good old Bob Uecker. At the Brewer Stadium at Miller Park, they have the Uecker seats.
Oh, really?
They cost $1, and then what they are, they're right behind stadium poles that are keeping up the seats above.
Oh, really?
You know, the floor above.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So they have seats. So apparently, they built the stadium, and then when they built the stadium, they put all the seats in, and they had to put support beams whenever they got more people interested in going to the games. So the best place to put them was right in front of these seats. So, if you want to buy them, they cost $1, and they're called the Uecker seats.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty funny.
I was born in Milwaukee. I'm not a Milwaukee fan. Tampa Bay Rays.
Milwaukee's worst is what I call it. Not that kind of beer.
Hey, now. Well, I mean, it's good when you're a certain age.
Yeah. Or if you're going hunting, I guess.
Wait, what? Like water?
Isn't that a thing? Like people go hunting and they bring beer? Isn't that kind of a thing?
Oh, so just because it's like water, is it good for hunting?
I guess.
Are you shooting it?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Don't people bring like a 6-pack of beer whenever they go hunting or fishing or something? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah,
I always thought it was.
I've never gone hunting with Milwaukee's best.
Man, bringing it back to your lies, Jesus.
IMDb.
Give me where's my phone? I got to fact check.
You're talking about that John Lithgow picture from the 80s. Milwaukee's best hunting.
Raising Cain? That was a great movie with him. Really,
no, I think I know what you're talking about. I get it. I was just busting your chops. We were coming. You know, like
I was doing some Milwaukee.
I was doing a bit. It was a Milwaukee bit.
Was it?
So Milwaukee.
So you would know it if you were from Milwaukee.
Yeah, in Milwaukee, when people say something, you don't say that's great, man. You just go, I don't believe you, and then you make them explain it. Hey, man, I like fettuccine. Why?
No one likes fettuccine. You kidding me? What kind of sauce do you put on a fettuccine? Fettuccine Alfredo? Yeah, see, it's not even called that.
Wait, Milwaukee guys?
Milwaukee's talking about fettuccine Alfredo? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Why don't you talk to Yuka? Yeah.
Get one of them dollar seats.
You got like $2 seats. Yeah, okay. Yuka over here has got a Lincoln in his pocket. Go buy a pint of Milwaukee's best.
What did you think about the scene where Wesley Snipes tries to steal a base and ends up about 4 feet from it?
Yeah, I love that scene. He's like, because it's like so epic. He dives and then he's like, he misses it, gives the guy the finger, and then he's like, come on.
Wesley Snipes flicks him off.
Yeah, man.
But this is a good story though. So did you hear about the alternate ending of this movie?
I read about it. I didn't get to see it, but apparently you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I understand.
She played them the whole time like a Moneyball scenario because she wanted them to win. Yeah. So that's the way this movie was written. And she's mad about it. She's like, I knew more about baseball than any of these guys did. The actress, and then audiences saw it and they got so angry that they made them reshoot it. You know what else they did during the reshoots? So that scene where Berenger creepily sneaks into Rene Russo's house, and they rekindle their romance. And at the end, she's not at the baseball game. And so she was doing a play in London. The director had to fly over to London. They had to build a box, put her in it with extras.
Wow.
And then show the ring off of her finger. They went to London to do that.
Oh my God.
Knowledge.
And then they didn't even do it. They didn't even use it.
Yeah, they used it.
Oh.
Remember Major League?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Rene Russo.
Dang, I would have been so pissed to do that.
They originally didn't have her in the ending. So they had the lady.
I thought they were supposed to get married. Wasn't that originally like the original ending? It showed them like they were at a church and it was like they were actually getting married and they did the scene.
Yeah, the very end.
And then just like in League of Their Own when they have their bats up and then they're going underneath it. I read that was one of the original endings that they had made.
But they didn't have her at the baseball game. So then remember at the end they brought her back into that and then they didn't show the wedding. Because I guess it's just implied that they would just be together. And then, I thought that was pretty interesting, though, that they didn't everyone was so mad that Rachel Phelps was nice that they rebelled.
It wouldn't fit. I mean, it's like, I didn't like that whenever I read it either.
It's kind of a Moneyball-esque movie, if you think about it.
Yeah, I read that review that somebody was compared it to Moneyball, and they're like it was kind of like Moneyball of its time, and it's like, no.
I guess the players, they brought in specialty players who could fit positions, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, she was doing it for her own gain, though, because you would have to basically excuse everything that she has in the beginning to say, like, well, I want to move this team to Miami, and I'm getting a nice house out of it. Well, how would that? She had to convey that message to everyone else, and it's like, well, how would that? Just saying that little bit of knowledge how would that benefit your assistant?
Yeah,
like
right.
You know, then they'd have to wipe all that out, and it just wouldn't work. It would just no.
So they took all that out, and then they added Rene. Like, that's pretty interesting though. That they had to fly to London and build a box.
Yeah, that would suck. I would. Yeesh. But then she comes out on the field too. So they had to fake a field or what? No,
that's a good point. No, so she was at that, but then the scenes of her at the game they built in.
Oh, gotcha. So just that snippet right there.
So they wanted her. So they tested it, right?
Yeah,
I guess it didn't test well. So then when they went and filmed the scene where she shows the finger and stuff, when she does that, then they.
Oh, okay, I got you. Man, that would have been a pain in the ass.
Yeah, go there.
Like, you mean to tell me we got to go all the way to GD London just shoot this scene?
That was one of her first movies too. You know, she was a major model.
Yeah, I read that she had a back brace growing up, and she was not very well liked in high school, and she was very quiet. And she was discovered at a Rolling Stones concert at the age of 17. Yeah, she was like 6 feet or something.
Yeah, Vogue and Cosmo and all those big ads. Like, she was a major. She was a supermodel, I guess, before supermodels were supermodels.
Yeah, who would be the first? Was Tyra Banks the first supermodel?
Cindy Crawford, maybe. Like, remember the whole early '90s with like what?
Yeah, they were left and right.
Tyra Banks, like that, and then blew up. Then,
oh yeah, because then everyone was into it. And then you had Natasha Henstridge, who then did Species.
But then I guess you did have a lot of models in the '80s, though.
Well, yeah, you've always had models. I mean, look at Twiggy; she's from the '60s. Yeah.
But I guess like super.
Well, I guess they became supermodels like in the '80s and '90s. I think Tyra Banks is like considered
that.
She's considered that. I think one of the first.
Yeah, and then they started doing all those shows and.
Yeah, then they all...
On our next podcast.
Yeah.
No, but it's good... I mean, it's worth knowing, right?
I think it's interesting.
Yeah. But I love how Rene Russo... She went on to go in, like, Lethal Weapon 3, Outbreak, Get Shorty, Tin Cup, Ransom, Thomas Crown Affair. She kind of became the...
She became the go-to. She became, like, the Meg Ryan.
The go-to love interest for, like, the 30s, 40s crowd, right?
Yeah. Right. That's fair. She was kind of like the Susan Sarandon of the 90s.
Hey there.
Because Susan Sarandon did the same thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then after she got to a certain age... They needed someone else who that audiences could relate to, and then they picked Rene Russo, Meg Ryan, little bit Ellen DeGeneres, and then it just kind of went with Rene Russo for a while. And then she did what was the last movie I think she would have?
But she was never the star. She was always
she's a great supporting
co-star. Yeah,
I mean, could you see her as like starring in things? Meg Ryan, well, she just has a great presence. I just don't see Rene Russo like that. And I think it has a lot to do with her having like scoliosis as a kid, whereas that she just was very shy and she just didn't. She lacked the I guess you would say the oomph. Basically,
I guess she co-starred like Thomas Crown Affair. She co-starred.
She's a great. She wasn't like character, but
like Outbreak. I think she was a co-star. Does that make sense?
We all know the main character, and that's the monkey. Yeah.
We said that at the same time. No, but it was cool. I mean, this is one of her first roles, and they were talking about how nervous she was, and she'd have to do like 12-hour days doing 3 pages of script, and that was like real rough on her. But she said this was at night, and so she said that was a real good learning and how to act. But everyone said how like everyone was talking about how awesome she was on set.
Yeah, she was probably. Yeah. I'm sure she was just 35 at the time, so she was definitely a late bloomer as far as acting goes.
And I kind of want to just have Berenger get away from her.
Yeah, you know, Tom Berenger, he's permanently looked like a lot older than what he really is, and then when he gets older, he looks younger than what he is. What is that? Like, I mean, he looks like he's in his mid-50s in this movie. He's 40.
Yeah.
And then whenever he does, like, Sniper, he looks like he's, like, 35, and he's, you know, mid-40s. Like, what the...
Yeah. We'll just put him with Billy Zane.
I don't know. What happened to Billy Zane? I love that guy.
He writes the occasional thing for Empire, and then he does really weird direct-to-DVD movies now.
Yeah. Man, that sucks.
We're covering
so good.
So Adam Clement and I, who does this podcast, he and I are doing The Rocketeer, and then we're doing The Phantom with Billy Zane.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Treat Williams.
I love Treat Williams, man. He was great in that. Remember he did The Pursuit of D.B. Cooper? Oh, come on, man. You gotta watch that. It's a classic. I grew up watching it. My dad used to watch it like every week.
Are you making this up?
No. Check IMDb. But you know what's interesting? The cinematographer on this, Ronaldo Villalobos, he shot a lot of 80s and 90s films that were that stick out and define that decade. What I thought was interesting was that he did 9 to 5.
Oh, wow.
He did Urban Cowboy.
Oh, wow.
He did Risky Business.
I'm going to stop saying oh, wow, but that's a wow.
Risky Business.
Gee. Oh, wow.
Lucas. You don't remember Lucas?
Is that the one with the kid?
Yeah, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
that was whenever Corey Haim's career was kind of tanking there towards the end.
Yeah.
But he did that, and then he did this. I was like, all those movies kind of define the 80s as far as the look. Now, you may be able to say John Hughes, but it's like John Hughes was using the same things as Ronaldo was. I mean, it was the same setups and everything that he used. And then after this, he did A Bronx Tale, which is one of my personal favorite movies.
I love A Bronx Tale.
I still listen to that soundtrack to this day.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Let's do that one after.
I'm down to talk Bronx Tale.
I
own Bronx Tale.
So do I.
No, you don't.
Check IMDb. Damn it, Hoffmeyer.
That movie, the whole unlocking the door thing, that's set.
That's that scene. I used that throughout my entire high school dating,
and then I got older, and I'm like, well,
yeah. Now that you have the thing that goes toot toot and everything, all you have to be, you can be like 5 feet within your car, and all the doors open up, and you can press the button to drive. It's like, well, I guess that kind of beats the purpose. But I love that.
Yeah, I love that movie. I still have the old DVD with the plastic front.
That's the same one I have.
Paper.
Yeah. Yeah, we were eco-friendly back in the day.
Yeah,
everything went plastic.
What's the deal with plastic?
Water in boxes and jump ropes made out of those. And
no, but there are some epic shots in this movie, though.
It was beautiful.
There's a scene where one of my favorites is when Wild Thing is on, the pitcher's mound. It's just looking up into the crowd. It's a glory shot. I mean, they really captured scale.
They really make you feel like you're at a real game.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, I wouldn't say like you're at a game, but you feel like you're a player at the game because you really see the crowd. I love that shot, the Jaws shot, basically, whenever they're pushing in and zooming out at the same time at Charlie Sheen whenever he turns around. Mm-hmm. That was great. I mean,
good shots.
Great. And then great cinematography, especially like with the one-liners you do, like whenever Dorn's wife comes up to Wild Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, because you're the sexiest thing I've ever seen. He goes, check, please. It's like, such a dry. And then I love that shot at the end when he's like, and then when they're done, the next morning, and then she's leaving, and he's like, where are you going? She's like, I go home to my husband. And he's like, Mrs. Dorn. And then she leaves. And
Dorn
Tom
handles
Berenger.
it well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard. I'm sure they had that conversation. I don't think you would need to see the conversation. You probably understand that he probably yelled at her and she was like, act like I didn't see you on television.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason why she went to go have sex with someone else and purposely chose, Ricky Vaughn, was because she saw him on television getting a girl, bringing her with him into another room.
High-fiving his teammates.
Exactly. I mean, so what are you going to say to that? I mean, like, act like I don't remember you wearing your salmon shirt with your khaki jacket, and it's like, well, because like whenever you get into an argument with your significant other,
look at the time.
They kind of they map it out very well. Like that one time you wore your brown belt, you're like, damn.
Yeah. But is it Wild Thing's fault? Because he gets punched in the face for it.
Well, I mean, there would still just be a little bit of anger, but no, you wouldn't. You can't. You can't really fault. I couldn't. I mean, you wouldn't be able to fault him for it unless he knew beforehand, like, I'm going to prey on Roger Dorn's wife, or if he knew that was his wife beforehand and purposely went and talked to her because of that, because he didn't like Dorn. That would be a whole other story. But he was sitting there at the bar drinking by himself.
He didn't know.
And then he had no idea who she was. As far as he knew, she was a regular Annie.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting that I guess he punches him because he's just like, I'm mad at you, but I get it.
Yeah.
But I also, you've slept with my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to punch you.
You slept with my wife, but at the same time, I was an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's a punch in the face. And also, that's probably the best time to get punched in the face.
All the adrenaline.
Yeah, because everybody's going, yeah!
You'll feel it later.
And then, bam! Oof. It's like, Yeah. You know, but then, you know, they're all going to go out drinking afterwards anyway.
I love it when Dorn first meets Serrano. And Serrano steals one of his golf club.
Keeps Bat warm.
Yeah. Keeps and he's like,
Jobu thanks you for the gift.
You can't just do that. And then he creeps away with his bag. And I love Serrano in this movie. We haven't talked about it. I mean, Jobu is... Oh, yeah. Everyone knows Jobu.
Yeah, everybody knows Jobu. You never take Jobu's rum.
Yeah, and then that guy...
Like, Chelsea Ross is like, I wouldn't leave that rum lying around here with all these guys. And he takes a drink of his rum, and then he gets hit with a bat.
Up your butt, Joe.
Up your butt, Jobu.
I love it. That line reading. That's a perfect line reading. Up your butt, Jobu. And then he gets hit with a bat.
Oh my god!
But I like Serrano in this a lot. And Haysbert, you know, he didn't want to. This is one of his first major movies, and he didn't want to shave his head. He was worried. That first scene he shot is when he's praying to Jobu and everyone gathers around him. That was his first scene, so he was really worried about that. But I also liked how this director, you know, he brought in people from the Caribbean. He brought in, you know, all different types of baseball players that you could really feel.
Well, one of the things that I read online, which I'm sure you read too, but all the main characters are inspired by real baseball players. For instance, Pedro Serrano is inspired by Orlando Cepeda, who apparently really did have like a whole shrine set up like that, and he would pray to his god to give him, you know, more strength while playing the game. And also Wade Boggs, who reportedly would always eat chicken right before he played the game. That's why they put that line in there.
I saw Wade Boggs hit, I think, his 3,000th hit. He jacked a home run for his 3,000th hit.
It's like that chicken worked out for him.
Eat that chicken. And I love later on the bucket of chicken.
I love that. He shows up. He's like, man, like Serrano says he's gonna sacrifice a chicken for more strength, and he's like, we need a whole chicken. All right, I'll think of something. And they show up later, and he goes a bucket of chicken. He's like, here you go, one entire chicken.
That's the wily veteran kind of thing. Yeah. And I also love, I know we're going back to the beginning, but I love when we first see Wild Thing pitching, and he just throws it up and busts the board, and the one guy doesn't hear him throw it. He's like, sounded like it had velocity. The velocity sounded good. I kind of love that about him. And then when he puts the glasses on, and Willie Mays Hayes is like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Those are actually cool glasses. I'm wearing one similar to that.
I just like that, you know, he couldn't read. Like, that's a good coaching right there. And then I liked Willie. I always remembered Willie Mays Hayes, you know, putting up his gloves that he stole the bases on. I thought that was really cool.
He nailed all the gloves to the wall.
And then he kept wanting to hit the ball really high. He kept doing pop. So Wesley Snipes did that. And the director was saying how hard it is to hit the ball up. Like you know, it's just pop-ups every time. And so Wesley Snipes was actually doing that.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was saying he was really great at batting and catching. But I liked how he was one of the most... He was just friendly. I like the scene where he and Charlie Sheen are on the bus trying to trade magazines to read. Like, that's good character stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and when Berenger runs the bases and Wild Thing,
that was out of here.
That's still
still in the air.
Yeah, and he's like, "Was that a curveball?"
Yeah.
And I love. So he goes. You know, Pete Vukovich was a pitcher, the main bad guy in the Yankees.
Yeah,
and he had facial hair, which wasn't allowed on the Yankees.
Yeah, and also he had one of the guys had long hair, which was not allowed either.
And I just love how this pitcher who had never hit a home run became the bad guy.
Yeah,
but I love when Charlie Sheen was talking about the ball he hit. He's like, the last ball he hit off me is still in the air. Like this movie has a really good. It's very quotable, right? I mean, people still quote it. Just a bit of that.
Yeah,
and I think it has enough character beats that really work. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that also, I read that this was like one of the most quotable films amongst like men aged like 25 to 40. It's like one of the most quoted movies because I mean everybody remembers it. Just a bit outside, and even every time we look up a review for this online, everyone always that's usually the title somewhere of their review. Just a bit outside. Yeah, it's such a great line. But one of the things I thought was interesting was that Ricky Vaughn was inspired by Ryan Dern, who was a pitcher for the St. Louis Browns. Now the Baltimore Orioles and the Yankees. Apparently, he was also he was famous for the Coke bottle glasses as they called him. But he could throw balls that were about 100 miles per hour. But he had terrible like aim. I guess is the best way to put it. Like same thing with Ricky Vaughn, but they kind of modeled him after him.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean and, let's see who else. Oh, you know, the dude ripped off Charlie Sheen after that, and he Wild Thing came out every time he would pitch.
Yeah.
And he like changed his number, but he never mentioned Charlie Sheen or Wild Thing, so he just stole it, and Charlie Sheen's still mad. He's like, give me some credit, man.
Yeah, come on,
Charlie Sheen hated that haircut.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't want it. Because he said, at the time, whenever he went out to bars, right, people would just mess with, hey, Charlie, you slick guy.
Yeah,
and so he was always getting into bar fights.
I'm sure.
So when he would go out to bars with that haircut, there would just be more comments. And he's like, which would lead to more bar fights. Because like everyone made comments to me at the time.
I'm sure, yeah.
So it was pretty interesting.
Especially for the late 80s, that probably was not exactly the best thing.
And he did not want, like, he's like, it just made more comment. He didn't care about how he looked. He just knew it would lead to more bar fights.
Yeah.
That's a problem you had for a long time. And bad knees.
Yeah. That's why they call me Chris Berenger.
And this whole movie, I did feel like Tom Berenger had bad knees.
Yeah, I really felt his pain, especially like, remember the last time he runs and you can hear the crunch. Yeah. It's like, oof.
He did have sciatica during this because he was always bending, and so everyone was always in pain.
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes was sliding a lot and complaining about it.
I read that Tom Berenger's character was actually based on Carlton Fisk.
Really?
Yeah.
Carlton Fisk?
I thought, because apparently Carlton Fisk had started developing like really bad knees, and they used to go to him for a lot of advice there towards the end. I was like, that's pretty interesting.
I like that. Any final thoughts about this movie? What do you got? Or do you want to move on to your recommendations? What do you think?
No, I think that's pretty well wrapped up.
I mean, we nailed it.
Yeah,
we crushed it. We put this in a headlock.
I think it's really interesting how they really did base a lot of these characters on real people.
The director knew a lot about movies, baseball, and so he wanted to make a movie for the Indians who were terrible. So I kind of love that. Oh, this is it. Wait, Chris Kelly recommendations. Chris Kelly.
Oh, wait, I did want to add one more thing. So,
rewind.
If you do want to watch Major League, it's now streaming on Hulu and Amazon Prime.
Hey, now.
So, yeah.
Thank you for that.
So, my recommendations that I want to do, like I've said before, is that like whenever I do my recommendations, that you think of this podcast as the main course, and my recommendations is like a beer or a wine that complements the meal. So it's not like a directly similar film or TV show. It's more something that would complement it.
Did you double check IMDb?
I actually got this from Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, good.
Woo!
There you go. We're covered.
The first recommendation I would have is the show Brockmire, sorry. That's streaming now on Hulu and AMC, the AMC app. It's Hank Azaria who plays a baseball announcer, which is kind of like Bob Uecker. In the first episode, he has a meltdown about he caught his wife cheating on him, and not like just like, I guess you'd say traditional cheating, but like a full-on, very, very
like old school,
very graphic way of cheating. And it's pretty fun. It's funny what he says, but he's a baseball announcer, and he slips this in while he's announcing the baseball game. And then he has a meltdown and starts screaming and yelling. Apparently, it's based on his Funny or Die skit. I started watching this show. There's 3 seasons of it right now. They start filming the 4th season soon. I didn't think that it was going to be that funny, because I was like, well, it's only like a one-note thing because he's a baseball announcer, so he has that baseball announcer voice throughout the whole show. But it's actually really funny. Like, I mean, there's a really, like in season 3 especially, where him and his co-announcer, Tawny Newsome, who's a stand-up comedian, she plays as co-announcer, and they're talking about their real-world like problems while announcing the game. So it's just like they're going back and forth. It's like, and strike 2, and they go back.
It's like current day.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it just came out. The 3rd season, I think, just ended like last month.
Brockmire, love it.
It's a great show. Strongly recommend it. My next recommendation is Bull Durham.
Oh yeah,
the 1987 classic. That's streaming on Prime, Hulu, Tubi, Pluto, and pretty much every streaming service ever.
If you haven't watched it, you should watch it.
Oh, strongly recommend it. I watched it again last night just to keep it fresh. It's first time writer and director Ron Shelton. He was nominated for an Oscar for this. He also went on to do White Men Can't Jump and Tin Cup.
I love White Men Can't Jump and Tin Cup.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love that movie. But the basic premise of that is Crash, who's played by Kevin Costner, is an older minor league baseball player who played in the majors briefly. And then he goes back to the minors to, I guess, they say in the movie to mature a Tim Robbins, who he gives the nickname Nuke because of his wild like throwing. And what I found interesting was that a lot of reviews that I read of Major League some of them were negative, and it was because they said it was a direct ripoff of Bull Durham. Because there's a lot of scenes. If you watch it again, there's a lot of scenes that are very similar. Tim Robbins' character is very much like Wild Thing, very fast arm, but he throws all over the place. He just needs control, which kind of like with Charlie Sheen's character is all over the place until he gets his glasses.
Yeah.
You have the aging character who's trying to help out the other baseball players, who's Kevin Costner is Tom Berenger. It's just they came out like pretty much one right after the other. A lot of reviewers and critics weren't really big into Major League.
That's not fair.
Because I don't think it's fair.
He wrote it in 84.
I don't think it's fair either.
Yeah.
It's just like, that doesn't make any sense.
And they're based on baseball players.
Yeah. I mean, there's similarities, but it's like, it's not a direct ripoff. It's not like you're talking about like, like when
there's a love triangle.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Same thing with a Major League and with.
But it was more prominent because it was Sarandon, Robbins, and Costner, right?
Well, Sarandon and Robbins. Sarandon plays.
She's awesome.
Well, she plays a character that's kind of like a baseball groupie, and that's the beginning of the movie is her explaining like she won't have sex with anyone unless that they have done X amount of home runs or pitches, and she explains this whole thing about why the men that she specifically will and will not have sex with, and then she meets Tim Robbins, who was only 29 at the time.
Jeez Louise.
Hey, it definitely shows too. He looks very immature in that
babyface.
Babyface Robbins. And she sleeps with him. But she's thinking about Kevin Costner, and then the movie, you can figure it out. It's very
great baseball movie.
It is. It's a really good movie too. It's worth the time. But it's also on Netflix and Vudu.
Would you recommend the Costner baseball trilogy? For Love of the Game, Field of Dreams?
For Love of the Game is a great film. I said that to my girlfriend last night when I showed her
Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
It's a great film. Very well done.
Great picture.
Good call.
Some good gags in it.
Just a bit outside.
Bob Uecker's wonderful as Costner's dad. And
also in Brockmire, what I thought was interesting was that they mentioned Bob Uecker.
Hey,
they did in the one episode. Like the one guy, he was like, he says he's the one baseball announcer when they go to Brockmire to do an intervention, and they say, "Oh, why are you even here?" He goes, "I don't even know why I'm here. I'm supposed to be." He's like, "I got a job with Bob Uecker, so I don't give a crap about him." And it's like, hey. It's like, lastly, I want to recommend the movie Mr. Baseball.
Hey, Selleck.
Yep, 1992.
Goes to Japan?
Yep, goes to Japan. He doesn't do so well in America anymore for the New York Yankees, so he gets moved to Japan to play for the Dragons. And it's definitely dated. It definitely has a lot of older jokes, very 1992, like late 80s, early 90s jokes. But it's still it's funny. It's not a boring film. It'll definitely keep you going. It also has Dennis Haysbert in it.
Really?
Yeah, he plays the other guy on the team.
I mean, he's good at baseball.
Obviously, yeah. He crushes it in the movie too. But one thing that was interesting with Mr. Baseball was that the guy who wrote it, one of the many writers. There's about like 7 writers on that movie. One of them, Gary Ross, he wrote Pleasantville and Big.
Gary Ross, wow.
Yeah, right.
Who directed it?
I can't pronounce his name, but it was like Silico.
John Smith.
Yeah, right. Come on, Chuck Finley.
Yeah.
One of the other writers, Kevin Wade, he wrote Junior and Meet Joe Black.
Oh wow, so big pedigree on this.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of big names on this. Well, some of them were big early, and then some of them became big later on.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I watched it again this morning. I loved it. I thought it was really good. But just to keep in mind, it is dated.
Yeah. Tom Selleck playing baseball, man.
Yeah, you can't beat that. And it ends with him wearing his Detroit Tigers hat. It's pretty. There's a lot of cheeky little lines.
Is it true that he didn't use a bat and he just let his mustache hit the ball?
Yes. God, it hurt like hell. The scene where he just he says, "I got to do what?"
No, he just stood there and the thing swung out from his head.
But that's all my recommendations.
I love it. Well, this was fun, Chris Kelly. Thank you for recommending Major League. And then we're going to do Young Guns.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. We got to just keep the Charlie Sheen train going on here.
Then we're going to do Judgment Night.
Oh, hey.
I love Judgment Night.
Estevez.
Dennis Leary.
That's right. Ooh, I remember watching that movie back in the day.
That was the first rock, metal / hip hop crossover, too. That
was Ice-T and...
Biohazard, I think.
Yeah.
Body Count and Biohazard. There's a bunch of them on. It was it was Onyx and Biohazard. I was like, dang, now that's a song. There was a lot. That was a great soundtrack, man.
I haven't watched that movie. Isn't Steven Dorff in that movie too?
Is he? He would have been around the age range because
a young guy, right?
Cuba Gooding Jr. is also in it.
Yeah.
I think they're all supposed to be like 25 to 30. So yeah, he would have been around that age.
We need to look this up.
Yeah, well, IMDb it.
Or am I thinking about Alone in the Dark? Directed by Uwe Boll.
Hello. Was that Tara Reid was in that?
Yeah. And the Slater.
Yeah, that was when
Roses.
Christian Slater went downhill pretty damn quick.
Oh, well, he's back.
Yeah, well, he did. Was it
Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot. I haven't seen it. That's starring the guy that's in like every
Rami
movie.
Malek. He's great.
I think it's in Hollywood contracts that Rami Malek has to be in literally every movie.
But he's put his, he's been acting for a long time. He was in Pacific. He was in a lot of movies. Master. He's been churning out good work for a long time.
I remember him in The Master. He's really good.
Yeah, Pacific. Have you seen that?
I've seen that.
He plays a guy named Snafu. My wife and I watched that, and we both looked at each other and said, he's going to be something. He just won an Oscar. Called it. He needs to send it to me. I need to become an associate producer on Bohemian Rhapsody. All right, hey, for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Chris, Mad Dog Kelly, this is Movies, Films, and Flakes. We'll see you next week.